Members, as I mentioned a moment ago, under current law, each school system across the state is required to display the United States flag. This bill, if adopted, sets forth a list of other flags that school systems may display.
Let's be clear, right now this bill is targeting students. We can walk around and dance and say it does all these different things. We've opted out in the amendment that was just drafted, the Confederate flag. So the Confederate flag can be flown, but the LGBTQ flag cannot be displayed. And we're going to have students in our schools that are going to be deeply impacted by this.
Representative Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So the purpose of my amendment is very simple. It is to protect the rights of students in our state who want to continue to support and encourage their fellow students who they feel are going to be targeted as a result of the passage of this bill. Additionally, it will uphold protections that are already in place in the Supreme Court. And let me be clear, I am against this bill. I think it's a terrible idea. But if we want to make sure that we do not have endless frivolous lawsuits in this state by people who might be so bold as to bring a civil action against their school district, then this amendment will help that. Let me be clear. Imagine a student, and I have 2 children that are in the school system, proudly, here in Nashville, that want to do a school project about someone they admire in this country. Someone like Harvey Milk. A person who fought in his city and his state for equality. He fought for LGBTQ rights. And as part of that poster, that student put a flag of the LGBTQ community on their poster. It's open to interpretation in here whether or not things that students do that are placed up on the wall could be seen as in violation. And that's a major problem. We are going to have students who are going to feel unwelcome. They're going to feel like their state and their community doesn't support them because of this bill. These students, studies have shown, will be subjected to higher rates of harassment, more inclined to be targeted by other students, because let's be clear, right now this bill is targeting students. I am proud when I walk into the public schools in my city to see the LGBTQ flag in the classrooms, proudly put up by teachers who understand the suffering that many of their students go through. We should be welcoming and celebrating our students, not hating on them. And all this amendment does is something very simple. It allows for the expression of those students, as long as it is not disruptive or materially and substantially interfere with the operation of the school. And we all know that simply displaying the LGBTQ flag does not do that. So I hope, colleagues, that you will support my amendment and you will join me in protecting of our protecting our students, and showing that we have love and compassion. With that, I move adoption.
Representative Powell moves adoption of amendment number 3. It's properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Representative Bolso, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this bill, HB 1605, concerns a statute, 49-6-2005, that lists flags that a school system must display. The bill tonight deals with flags that a school system may display. Neither the bill nor the existing statute says anything about what students may or may not do. And for that reason, with respect, I move this amendment to the table.
It's a proper motion, probably seconded. The parliamentary situation is Representative Powell has moved adoption of amendment number 3. Representative Bolso has moved that motion to the table. That cuts off all debate except for that of the sponsor. Representative Powell, you are recognized.
Respectfully, I disagree. This amendment upholds what the Supreme Court has held again and again. And we will see challenges to this law, many challenges, because I have fundamental issues with the whole premise of the law, and I hope that's challenged. But when we're talking about students and what students display, if you look at the language of the bill and you extrapolate it out, I think you're going to see challenges and frivolous lawsuits brought against your school districts, costing the taxpayers of your communities money to fight these civil actions. All I'm saying is that if a student wants to proudly display, I'd love a teacher wants to proudly display. That's going to prohibit a teacher. But if a student wants to proudly display the LGBTQ flag, they can do so. And I want to be clear about something because I had somebody mention something to me. They said, Representative Powell, an issue with your amendment is this will allow the Nazi flag. The Nazi flag and swastikas and messages of hate have time and time again shown to not be protected because they are materially disruptive. No one that I have ever met or known has felt, and in my community, in my school system, disrespected or disrupted because they simply want to support what they believe in, because they themselves might be LGBTQ, because they have friends that they know are LGBTQ, because they admire LGBTQ members of the community. I am asking you to please vote against the tabling motion, to stand with love and openness tonight, and to stand against hate and divisiveness, because the students in Tennessee are hearing this. They hear the message that this is sending. And I want to send a different message, and I hope you will too, that our state is welcoming, it's loving, and it wants to accept all students, including and especially those in the LGBTQ community. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Parliamentary situation is Representative Powell has moved adoption of amendment number 3. Representative Bolso has moved that motion to the table. We are voting on the tabling motion. All those in favor, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 74, 23 nays.
The ayes have it. The motion to adopt amendment number 3 is tabled.